Martha's home.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Somewhere in Podcastro Valley.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Podcastro Valleyton, that is. It's Mike Matthews. Welcome to Café Anyway, the last place on earth. It's Mike Matthews, and here we are. We're doing stuff, and I might lose my mind somewhere during this show, but that's okay because you might find that fascinating and interesting and humorous and, I don't know, whatever is in your brain vocabulary. Welcome to the show. It's called
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And the wonderfulness of Berkeley was what I discovered yesterday.
Mike's
I was walking around.
Daily
What do they call it? The
Podcast.
food jungle?
Yeah.
Is it food? No. Food plethora? The foodie zone? Anyway, that place is where I was at, walking around. There was a massive, they were making a bunch of, I think, is it latkes? There was some outdoor booths making latkes, all the potato cakes. And then I walked past the Pete's, the old Pete's, the first Pete's Coffee. Pete's Coffee's big here in California. Huge franchise. But I didn't see any McDonald's. But apparently McDonald's is going to open nearly 9,000 restaurants. They want to add 100 million members to its loyalty program by 2027. Wall Street is worried about the economy and the threat posed by weight loss drugs. The burger chain is phasing in an improved version of its burger and doubling down on chicken. I guess because people think eating chicken is more healthy. By 2027, McDonald's wants a global footprint of 50,000 locations. They had, over 41,000 restaurants worldwide as of September 30th. Starbucks aims to reach 55,000 cafes, up from its current count.
Here's today's podcast picture
Of more than 38,000. The podcast picture is of the wonderful Jack London Square area, looking out towards the houseboats that are over on Alameda Island. And you can see that cool picture, very East Bay. And that was my day yesterday. It was very East Bay. We went over to Almanac Brewing. My friend Kevin, Addendum with Kevin, was out there. I took the late great Basil the Boxer out to see Kevin many times at the breweries that he worked at. And people would always go, "Oh, what a cool dog. Boxers are awesome." And whenever I see a boxer, I smile. But if you want to be a boxer owner, just remember, the day you lose your dog is the worst day of your life. And you may never, ever recuperate from that day. It just...
Wow.
It's pretty interesting.
But my lovely lady friend and I had a wonderful day visiting Kevin. And then also, got quite a few cool podcast pictures from yesterday.
Mike's scavenger hunt.
And you can see those at mikesdailypodcast.com. So there is Starbucks trying to get 55,000 cafes. There's McDonald's trying to get 50,000 locations.
Oh, yeah.
McDonald's wants to reach 250 million active members for its loyalty program by 2027. The loyalty program has grown to be a juggernaut, boosting mobile sales and encouraging customers to return more frequently. I think that I had that app for about a minute, but I said, this is probably not the healthiest thing for me. And this was before I met my lovely lady friend, who would tell me, no, you are not going to eat McDonald's.
News random.
You need to live a long time. And McDonald's is not going to help you do that. Sorry.
Mike ripped someone a new one.
What the outlook is, if you work at that particular food chain, that it's not the healthiest
Matthews
food.
News.
But it is fast. And when I smell those fries cooking, oh my gosh.
Mike's absolutely useless review.
Where I work Monday through Friday, I pass by about 3 McDonald's, and they all, when they're cooking fries, oh my gosh, I just want to pull over.
The Myclopedia Insanika.
So apparently there is a record number of passengers, and apparently is the word that we like to use on this show. It's my crutch word, as we used to call it in radio. Mike, what's your crutch word? Well, apparently. Airlines should carry a record number of passengers next year as the sector puts the COVID-19 pandemic well behind it. Profitability remains a concern, though. A record 4.7 billion people are forecasted to hit the skies next year. In fact, my cousin's daughter will be visiting. I haven't seen her in over 10 years. She's bringing her boyfriend.
What's the cliche of the week? What's the cliche of the week? What's the cliche of the week? What's the cliche of the week?
Yes, can't wait to see her and her boyfriend. So people are going to be flying more next year. This 4.7 billion people, it exceeds the pre-pandemic level, which was at 4.5 billion in 2019.
What's the cliche of the week? What's the cliche of the week? What's the cliche of the week? What's the cliche of the week?
Airlines are expected to post $23.3 billion in net earnings for this year. And they're going to go to $25.7 billion next year, a 7.6% rise. Airlines' net profit margin of 2.7% is tiny. Airlines will, on average, retain just $5.45 for every passenger.
Live and loco.
So it's basically carrying a cup of coffee of profit per person. Gone too are the windfall gains from higher air cargo rates. Cargo revenue is expected to fall to $111 billion in 2024. That's down sharply from the peak, which was at $210 billion, dropping $100 billion. But it is still above the 2019 level, which was at $101 billion.
Mike's Daily Podcast Master Pod Beater.
And billions and trillions of dollars, these mean nothing to you probably, but Americans have racked up over a record-breaking $1 trillion in credit card debt.
Yo, the Mike Tip.
39% of consumers, that's quite a bit, say that credit card debt is their biggest threat to building wealth, yet they do it anyway. Uncle Sam is taking away some of those generous tax credits for electric vehicle buyers. As we go outside of Café Anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valleyton, the last place on earth. Going away, cars with China-made battery parts will no longer be eligible for the full $7,000 credit because China is the world's top electric vehicle battery producer. It could mean pricier electric rides for Americans. Oh, and Walmart has released a rom-com that is a commercial. Obviously, if Walmart's releasing it. It's 23 episodes. It's called Add to Heart, which advertises Walmart products. Instead of add to cart, it's add to
Everybody make
heart.
some noise! Woo! Bringing to you live from Podcaster Valleymont, Mike's Daily Podcast.
And will feature 330 Walmart products alongside add to cart buttons. And speaking of which, empty shopping carts, high shipping costs were the most common reason that shoppers abandoned their carts when they're online and they're buying things.
It's a nightmare of a show.
So almost 20%, that's what it was the, oh my gosh, I got to pay that much for shipping? No. That's why Amazon's got that thing where if you spend like over $25, you can get it for free. Or of course, if you have Amazon Prime, you get it for free. So 20% dropped the cart, but that was closely followed by attempting to find a better deal elsewhere. Was also about 20%. So outside of Café Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth, apparently, I use it again, Mr. David Tennant shall remain the doctor forever. For the, as the expression goes, time and memorial, because they wrote it into the most latest series. I did not see it, but I am like...
Mike, it's Mikey Fikey. Great.
Getting caught up on it by watching the video.
Which is a very good thing.
That's called Who Culture. I was trying to remember it. And it's got this young redhead lady who recaps the episodes, and then there's this guy with, he sounds like he's got a really thick, I don't know, is it Irish? I think he's got like an Irish accent. And he did a great job summing up the latest episode, so...
Which is a very, very good thing.
I'm up to speed. There is, the new doctor has emerged, but the David Tennant doctor is still around as well. So they're going to both exist somehow. And in the most recent episode, they went back and explained a lot of things that happened that were never fully explained in past episodes, like from 5-10 years ago. Even further back, they went back 60 years ago for one thing. So they're explaining away stuff to Doctor Who fans that just sort of accepted things.
Ridiculous random posts.
Let's see. Nkuti Gatwa. I will eventually be able to memorize that name. Nkuti Gatwa is the new doctor. So, and he hit the ground running. They had all kinds of funny things for him to do. He is the first person of color to play the lead role in Doctor Who. He's 29 years old. He's Scottish, but born in Rwanda. And he was in the Netflix sitcom Sex Education. Time immemorial. It's not in memorial, it's immemorial.
Wine.
Well, I like
The whiny white man wine list.
Meaning time extending beyond the reach of memory, record, or tradition.
That's crazy.
Indefinitely ancient. Ancient beyond memory or record.
And now, a big thanks to our sponsor.
So, in law, time immemorial denotes a period of time beyond which legal memory cannot go.
The Newsbleed section.
And let's see, it is... historically, American judges lack confidence in the use of Native American oral tradition evidence.
Wow.
Oral history shared between past and present generations in court.
Because you'd be in jail.
Since the Pueblo Diazia decision of the United States Court of Federal Claims in 1964, oral tradition evidence has received increased judicial endorsement in affirming the use of Native American oral traditional evidence to establish title to land. The Pueblo Diazia Court describes the testimony as having been handed down between tribal council members from time immemorial. That, according to Wikipedia.
We love you, Mike.
That's why we pay Mike the big bucks, or someone pays him.
Absolutely.
Glad the extras.
In English law, time immemorial ends and legal memory begins in 1189. That's the year that was the end of the reign of King Henry II, who is associated with the invention of English common law.
Oh, Mike, you're such a creative soul.
All right.
First of all, I just want to thank everyone for joining us here on this show. This is great.
I'm fascinated with how certain... In fact, I footnoted somewhere a website. Oh, is it under my podcast thing? Yes, Online Etymology Dictionary.
But if you get offended, that's the way the cookie crumbles. No.
It will help you
What?
with certain words and phrases.
I love it.
Let's see. For example, the trending words, and it tells you what the top trending words are. Number 1 is spell. I don't know what that... Okay. But it doesn't do the best job. Like, I'm trying to look up time in memorial now, and it doesn't give me really any... It just gives me the word time and where the word time came from.
Let's not replay that one.
It looks like that's a whole bunch of stuff that I really can't go down that rabbit hole on today's podcast. because we still have some things to get to, including look who's here outside of Café Anyway. Oh, this is such a joy right now to see them out here where it's kind of cold. Hello, Michael Master, it's Madame Rootabega. I love all of these words you say. Ooh. Do you like the cold? Yes. Do you like Doctor Who? Yes. Do you like Around the World in 80 Days, the other thing David Tennant did? No. Why not? Oh, it was so good. We watched that. David Tennant was the guy, Phileas Fogg, loosely based on the Jules Verne Around the World in 80 Days. It was fun to watch. It had some crazy special effects sometimes, but yes, if they make a sequel to that, that would be great. But David Tennant, man, he's just an awesome actor. He's good in those kind of roles, I guess. Broadchurch is a little more broody, a little more detective, like with the bad bunch of baggage and stuff, but he was trying to do more of a serious thing. I guess that's okay. Look who else is here.
Hello, Dave Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Mike, we hear you got some stuff in this segment. Let's go back with Matthews. That sounds kind of interesting, D.
Yeah, interesting. Do you know that? Well, kind of interesting, yes. It goes back in time. And let's go back with Matthews.
Let's go back with Matthews.
We're going to look back where I used to broadcast live from the Ventura County Fair. I was working for a country station. And as part of a country station, you do a couple of things. You do a St. Jude's Radiothon every year. You talk extensively about the ACMs and the CMAs. You try to get to one of those if you can. You try to get to CRS, which is Country Radio Seminar out in Nashville, if you can. I was only fortunate to get to go once. Although I did go to St. Jude's Hospital to go to their big radiothon. I guess it was like a, to kind of teach you the best ways to do a seminar. It was a seminar about doing radiothons. But then you would also do a live broadcast from the fair. And for us, it was the Ventura County Fair. And here's a little bit of that. And we had this system. This is pre-internet. I mean, the internet was around because this is 20 years ago. But, actually, this is over 20 years ago. Like over 23. Yeah, this is like 2000. Wow. August of 2000. So this is Mike in his 30s still. Yikes. So, I wasn't even married yet. Wow. This is way, way, way back. Okay, this will be interesting. We didn't use the internet, though, to broadcast. A lot of radio stations will use the internet. You can do all kinds of things where you connect to a Wi-Fi and you can broadcast live. We used instead a mini transmitter. So imagine like a mini radio station broadcasting that would then broadcast to the station, and then the station would rebroadcast that out, if that makes any sense. And it was technically pretty difficult to do. We had a really good engineer there who was able to figure all that out. So in the end, this is what it sounded like. Let's go back with that.
Live now. Hey, it's There You Are by Martina McBride on 100.7 KHAY. And we got Yankee Gray's new one called This Time Around, Joe Diffie on the way, Jody Messina with That's the Way, and Boot Scootin' Boogie. We're going to do some of that. Colleen, where was the first place that you boot scootin' boogied?
The Moose Lodge in Simi Valley.
Okay. How old were you?
6.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the mean age of people starting to boot scoot and boogie tonight here at the Hey Santa Fe Cafe. Oh my gosh, it's Chely Shoehart.
Michael, I once boot scoot and boogied when I was like 2. Can I get a CD too?
Everybody wants CDs. My gosh. Okay. Well, we're gonna stick around, see if we can find some more, and we're gonna just entertain you tonight till midnight here at the Hey Santa Fe Cafe, live from the Ventura County Fair. You've got the power at the Ventura.
Now, I think the board op, I'm surrounded by women there. It's so funny. All these girls, they wanted CDs, so we were handing them out. But the board op was this fantastic lady by the name of Christine Burns. And she could, oh my gosh, she did such a good job with the board, because you needed somebody who was skilled and who could handle the volumes, the radio, the sound, how loud it was, and to mitigate other sounds. And she was excellent. There was another guy, I've talked about him in previous podcasts, who utterly butchered my show when I broadcasted live from events. He had the music underneath me way too loud. I don't know how bad his ears were, that he couldn't tell that he was drowning me out. Maybe that was his intention. But I found a tape this year where I'm listening to it going, oh my gosh, what did he do to me? It's terrible. But Christine did a great job. Thank you, Christine, for your amazing work. Or it might have been Justin. I'm thinking it was Christine, but it could have been Justin Michael, although he would have been really, really young in 2000. But, well, anyway, Café Anyway, that was a little bit of that. All right, here's a little bit, too, of another radio station I worked for. This is even further back. This is 30 years ago. I think this... Oh yeah, this is Y97. They called it Most Music Y97, and this was in Santa Barbara.
Too Funky. This is from Red Hot and Dance from MTV. Y97.
Oh, no, I think that was that George Michael song, Too Funky. This was in the era of George Michael videos where he didn't even show up in the videos. He just had the latest female models that were big at the time star in the videos.
Music Y97, we specialize in 50-minute music hours.
Music Y97.
Hi, I'm
Oh, the boss.
Bruce Springsteen speaks the truth. 57 channels and nothing on. New music on Most Music Y97. Off his Human Touch CD. Good afternoon, Mike Matthews with you. We're working on a 50-minute music hour. And do you remember the Smothers Brothers, Tommy and Dickie? Well, you know what? They're going to be at Santa Ynez Valley Air Show tonight at 6 p.m. Well, it's just an idea if you want to go see that. They're the people that go, Mother always liked you best type thing. Well, it's a shaman, and they got Moving Mountain. 187, 50-minute music hour.
57 channels and nothing on, Bruce Springsteen. That's back when there was just 57 channels. How many channels are there now? If you count the YouTube channels, it's endless. There is no number. The number is too big. They can't come up with the number yet. Wow. Back then. See, a little bit more of
Gary
this.
Mike Matthews. Happy, jovial Mike Matthews saying goodbye. Have yourself a great Sunday night. I might see you next weekend. It depends on how Abby thought I did today, but we'll see. Hey, we've got future hits on the way at 6 o'clock. Adam Curie at 7 and Dr. Demento at 10. Bye-bye.
Hey, that was Boys to Men. Abby was my boss, Abby Bonnell, and she was British. And I don't know what happened. I mean, she kept, she'd promote other people. I'd still have to keep doing the overnight shift. I don't know. We didn't quite hit it off, but yeah, I don't know what became of Abby Bonnell. I guess I could look her up, but did you notice it also meant, was it, who's the guy, Curry? Let me just back it up a second.
Might see you next weekend. It depends on how Abby thought I did today.
She didn't like how I did. I would have gotten better shifts if she did like how I did.
But we'll see. Hey, we've got future hits on the way at 6 o'clock. Adam Curie.
That's Adam Curry. Okay, so Adam Curry is basically the father of podcasting, if you didn't know this. He has that huge podcast that he does, No Agenda. And basically, the whole reason why I am able to do this for you today is because of Adam Curry. But back then, he was still big on MTV, and he had a syndicated radio show that we would play. So that was a little bit of that. Interesting. Adam Curry. And he had the long hair. I think he was often doing, was it the metal show, the heavy metal shows? Oh, and this is another radio station I was at called KNJO. It was in Thousand Oaks in this little shopping strip mall, but it was near Westlake Village, so there's some rich uppity up people in their nice cars, and there were some nice restaurants around. I remember there was a Der Wiener Schnitzel really close by that I ate at way too much, but it was one of those A-frame Der Wiener Schnitzels where they build it out of, is it like redwood? Some cool smelling wood. Like you'd walk in and it would smell of hot dogs and that really cool wood that they used. Oh, and there was a Tower Records nearby. That's right. And that's where I would leave work and spend like $30-40 on CDs, which I still have these CDs.
Oh my gosh! The bottom of the chart.
Pretty good songs that never made it on the radio because people didn't think they were worth it. But you know what? They come back up and people start playing them, and it's like, oh, where'd that come from?
Oh, that sounds like Styx playing.
Grown up rock from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and into the 90s. We're 92.7 FM. Mike Matthews with you, taking it through the remainder of a Tuesday evening into the 11 o'clock hour. And letting you know what's coming up in concert. Santana will be at the Greek Theater August 13th and 14th. The Stray Cats, remember them? They'll be at the Ventura Concert Theater August 14th. Special tribute to the Beatles takes place this Sunday at the Caneo Community Park. Also this Sunday, you can catch Lyle Lovett at the Wiltern Theater. And don't forget, happening this Friday, Bachman Turner Overdrive. They're going to be at the Ventura Concert Theater. We're the home of Grown Up Rock, 92.7 FM.
That's me. Oh, it.
The message is perfect.
ABC. Awesome. So that was me 30 years ago. Interestingly, there I'm promoting the Stray Cats. There in 1992. And I think it was 97, 98 that I got to go to the lead singer Brian Setzer's wedding because he married someone that was friends with my mom. Actually, it was my mom's best friend's daughter. And so we were invited to the wedding. It was out there in Sierra Madre near Pasadena. That wedding that marriage did not last. In fact, I think it was, we were there for the wedding. The wedding and the reception took place in this beautiful house that they used actually for Clueless. If you ever see the movie Clueless, where Alicia Silverstone lives, that house was basically where they did the wedding. And they had swing music was big at that moment. It had a big revival, and Brian Setzer had a huge revival. He did a cover of Jump, Jime, and Wail, and he got quite successful with his big orchestra, his swing orchestra. And so it was at that moment that he got married. So it was an interesting moment in time, and my mom and I were there, and I remember I had to run out to the car to get the camera. I had forgotten the camera, so I run out, and I'm passing by the bride and groom. They had just gotten married, and they're out there in the parking lot yelling at each other. An harbinger of something bad. Well, harbingers are of something, always of something bad. So it was just something that it was foreboding. It was, premonition of what would happen later on, I guess is what I'm trying to say. That they would not stay together. But they had a great wedding. That was a great night. The reception was fun. And that place was really cool. And a memory I won't forget. So, the Stray Cats. Whenever I think of Brian Setzer, I think of that. And I talked to him very briefly. And the other two guys from the Stray Cats were there. I think it was Slim something. And, I forget the other guy's name. But there. Okay. So that's some old music memories. Now some new music memories. It's the wonderful segment, the Mike Matthews New Tunes Feud. Here are a couple new songs that were sent to me. Usually I do 5, but the songs I've been getting lately, well, people send me links that don't work. So I have to kind of do this differently now. I'm switching it up. And if you do want to send me new music, what is my email? mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. Or go to my website, mikesdailypodcast.com, and you can find a place to email me. But the first song I'd like to play for you was sent to me from Mia Dyson. And she says, "Hello, dear people. I'm just a little bit overexcited to announce my new album, Tender Heart, will be out next year in February. I want to share a new song from it called Thank You." Okay, here is Mia Dyson and a little bit of that song.
And one of us stays in the world a while. Either way.
That's all I can play or I'll get dinged by YouTube. But Mia Dyson, that is her name, and a little bit of her song. And here is a band that sent me something. Let's see, Dinah. Not Dinah Shore, but just Dinah. And throughout her life, Toronto-based Dinah Thorpe has been singing jock, a polymath possession, two talents that others sought to set at odds. A gentle giant and keen basketball player, Dinah was kicked out of her school's choir when she was young, told by her teachers that she wasn't able to occupy both spaces. That's terrible. It's only now, deep into her career as a musician, that Dinah realized just how wrong they were. This is a song she has released called Winter Black Lake. Okay, there's a little bit of that. Dinah Thorpe. Hey, don't let people tell you put walls on you. You can do that if you're good at both basketball and doing synthpop. Do it. And our last song is from Montanera. Okay, Montanera. And it says, at a time when Latin music is expected to have strong and danceable beats, Montanera, a.k.a. Maria Monica Gutierrez, presents a Flor de Piel, an album loaded with ambient sounds, synths, and beatless tracks that take center stage. Here is a song from that. It is called Un Dia Voy a Ser Mariposa. That's Montanera. Which song do you like better? Mia, Montanera, or Dinah Thorpe? You can email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com, or you can call me. And with that number, here's this guy.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640.
Will ya shut ups? Liberty Nation Freedom Foam for All.
And with more ways to reach me, here's a friend.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye!